All right, welcome to the Real Estate Rundown. I'm Dustin DeHart with Keller Mortgage.
Yeah, and I'm Nick Lehman with the Lehman Group
There
at Keller Williams.
Here
You caught me off guard.
I'm sorry. Catch up, Nick.
Yeah, all right, paying attention.
All right, a lot of info today on the rundown. We are going to talk about some of the pitfalls with financing with condos. The Oakland, or is it the Las Vegas A's?
Ooh.
You're going to talk a little bit about water or lack thereof.
That
right?
is, we are in drought.
Yeah, hopefully, I was hoping you say that that drought's over now with all the rain and snow.
It rained yesterday, so we're good.
Yeah, we're good?
We're good.
Awesome. But, Nick, it is in order that we first start the show with some housing stats, right? We ended last show with kind of a recap of 2022.
It's true.
However, we were rolling with November stats and not December because they hadn't come out yet. And they have now come out, and not a big surprise. Actually, the median sales price hit exactly what I thought it was going to.
Flat.
Yeah.
Just a straight zero. Year over year, we have a graph to show you. We ended exactly where we started.
Look at that. That's like a
1 year
roller
ago.
coaster.
Look at that. That's like a mountain, right?
Yep.
It's like the yodeling on Price is Right. The yodeling. So we started 1 year ago at 425 median price. We ended 1 year later at 425 median price. Obviously, we went up to 482. Some artificial pricing. All those that sold in April and May, good for you. Those that didn't, that's okay. If you bought in April and May, don't worry, you haven't sold yet, so you'll be just fine. The point that we want to make sure that we drive home is that year over, we are even.
Yeah, better than negative, right?
Well, I mean, if you watch the news or the media or read anything out there about the housing market, you would think that it is completely negative year over. However,
it's crashing. But let's take 2 year snapshot. Then if you divide that, we're up quite a bit still.
Yeah,
right?
you know, funny. I pulled the last 2 years. We were up 20%, 10%, 30% over the last 3 years. Do the math, carry the one, divide the three.
Core math. Right
You're
there.
up Common Core math. You are up 10% per year over the last 36 months.
I'll take that all day long.
That is a W.
Yes.
That is a W.
Sales still flat. We were actually up 0.09%. I'll take that from the previous month. However, we were down 52% from this time last year.
True.
Right? So we certainly need to see sales start to climb up because obviously supply is, up 175% or something in that range from this time last year. And, look, again, we need rates to come down to get some more buyers into the market. But, 1,500 homes for homes sold. That's kind of depressing. I will not lie.
The even ratio. Understand, we only took 1,677 listings, so it's kind of a 1-to-1 ratio. The X factor that nobody's really talking about is what we previously had in other markets is we did not have expireds, and that is something that we now will have, which is a very normal thing in real estate. You have homes that will be listed by aspirational sellers that they don't sell, therefore the listing will go expired. So just because we have this high increase or this giant delta between solds and listings, we have come from a market where we didn't have any expireds. And now we're going to have quite a bit of expireds, which is something that people aren't really talking about.
Yeah. So speaking of rates, look, we're in that low 6% range.
Yes.
Right. And it seems like I mentioned CPI reports every show.
Yeah.
Right? But that does come out tomorrow. That's going to be a big mover on what happens with interest rates.
I'm excited.
That measures inflation. If we get another better than expected number, we could really see rates go down, push down a lot more. And we could be dipping our toe in that high 5% range sooner than later, maybe even before the end of the month, right? And now the media, if they got behind it, right? Oh my God, rates are low, right?
It's just going to be,
game over,
they'll just turn it around for sure. Didn't you write a loan?
I
or
did,
lock somebody in? Tell the listeners about that.
Yeah, so I actually locked in a 5.75% rate VA with 0.0 points. So it depends on what kind of loan product you have, right? What kind of credit score, but there are rates under 6% right now, believe it or not.
That's awesome. I didn't mean to make it sound like you wrote one loan.
How dare you? Well, that seems to
you
be.
had one under 6 that I think you should tell people about.
Thank you for reminding me. That's why I have a co-host. I can't do it all, Nick. I cannot do it all. So look, I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow. Hopefully it's not a bad number because that will be a negative thing on interest rates. And but look, all expectations are it's going to be a good number. So I will report that next week, and we'll see where we go. All right. Oh, wow. Look, I'm getting a little notice from our producer here. We actually have a caller, a live caller. I didn't know we gave our number out. It's a video caller. His name's Neil. Neil, are you there? Welcome to the Real Estate Rundown. What's happening?
Thanks. First time caller, long time listener. My friends call me Negative Neil.
Okay.
Dig the show, but apparently you guys haven't been watching TikTok predicting another housing meltdown and the rates to be 10% next month.
Well, hey, first of all, Negative Neil. That's
wow.
It's
Thanks
quite a
for calling.
nickname. Better than Dopey Dustin or Narcissist Nick, right? But,
I've been called that before.
Yeah.
Neil, yeah. So thanks for calling. Great. Did you have a question?
Well, hold on. Yeah, but TikTok, he's getting all his information on TikTok? What the hell? I thought that was for dance videos and China stealing our data, right? But maybe not. Who
Doesn't
knows?
work for the government.
Well, I'm sure as Nick knows as well as I do that all great information on real estate comes from TikTok.
Yeah, that is a source for sure. Well, Neil, I hate to bust your bubble, but we don't really foresee housing taking a turn. We've predicted in the last show that we see it flat. I predicted plus 2% year over. Are you seeing something different that we're not?
Look, I heard Derek Carr might be selling his house soon. So I want you to get that pocket listing and give me a steal on it. And Dustin can give me down payment assistance.
Well, there you go. All right, so you are looking to buy. Yeah, that's
All right.
Derek Carr pocket listing. Do you think that's happening?
I'll reach out. Yeah, I'll call my title rep, see if I can get contact info. Maybe I can send him a message on TikTok.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
He might be on
Make it
there.
happen.
Make it happen, Nick. Come on.
I'm
Jesus,
on it.
Neil's
I'm on
ready
it.
to go. We got a hot lead here. Down payment assistance might be tough on Derek Carr's house, but we'll see what we can do. We will definitely see what we can do. Look, rates are going to 10%, Neil, so don't get so negative, okay? Rates are coming down. I will have you know that. And TikTok, good avenue to get information on, but might want to look at some other sources.
Yeah, it's a resource, Neil. I mean, we project 0.2% or excuse me, 2% for next year as far as appreciation. And honestly, if there was any dip in the market, the majority of people have equity. So don't really foresee any type of crash. We just talked about expired listings being a thing. Should have a 1-to-1 type of ratio, at least for the next 30, 60 days.
Yeah. No, I'm glad to see that you're a buyer. We need some more buyers, right? So I'm assuming you haven't been pre-qualified yet. What do you do for a living, Nick?
No.
Or Neil.
Neil.
Sorry, Nick.
Yeah.
Nick, Neil.
There's a lot of
Neil.
N's.
Well, I worked for the IRS for some time. And
Okay.
I was an auditor. And now I make a living as a life coach.
As a life coach. Okay. Man, there's a lot of life coaches.
I help people find their purpose.
There it is.
Right.
Maybe 1099, or
I
do
was
you think
just going to
he's
say,
W-2?
we're going to have to dig into his tax returns.
100%.
But, he used to
Well-
work for the IRS.
Let's talk more about TikTok, though.
Yes, that would
Are
be
you saying that's not a good source?
Well, yeah, probably not. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of, negative Neils on TikTok, and, TikTok's fun. I'm not an avid TikTok guy. but
I don't have an account. I'm not super familiar.
Yeah.
That's how my life coach business went viral.
Is it really? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, gosh, I need to get your number because I could definitely use some coaching in life, right?
Well, I mean, we got to get them pre-approved.
We do. We got to start at the basics.
The car
Neil.
pocket listing, I think we can be there. And let's
if we don't get that Derek Carr property, any other properties you might be willing to take a stab at there, Neil?
I'm ready to go looking.
Okay. Yeah, I think Gruden actually
he
has
sold.
his house.
It
already
closed.
sold?
Yeah,
Okay,
it
'cause
closed. Same
Derek-
location, Southern
Yeah,
Highlands.
they decided to
Augusta
move in
Canyon.
right next door to each other. And
Down
I had
the street.
I had a feeling that was going to go
Yeah,
bad.
that was, okay.
Yeah, so, Neil.
What kind of info do you need from me?
Well, I was just going to say, we have your phone number, so we're going to reach out to you, start that loan application. Maybe your first-time home buyer, we'll have you come in the office, Neil, and sit down with us if it doesn't intrude on your life coaching business, and we'll get you prepped, ready to go buy a house, and then Nick comes to you,
Yeah.
and then it's it's game time.
Game time.
Right?
We'll schedule a buyer consultation, have that pre-approval letter, and we'll get you in the car ready to go. Appreciate you calling, Neil. Thanks so much. And let's.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I didn't even know we gave out our number yet. So, man, I hope this is something new.
It must be a
get
TikTok
some more
thing.
calls, and we appreciate you being a long time listener too. It's
I saw your show on TikTok.
Okay, fantastic.
It's working.
All right.
See? I've told you there's more than just the four people watching this show. It's getting there, baby steps,
one step
and
at a
now
time.
we have our first listener, and
Who are the other 3 people?
well, me, Nick, and my wife.
yeah,
She loves
absolutely.
the show. Yeah.
Thank
she's,
you.
She's an avid watcher or listener. Not sure what this is yet. So, all right. So, Neil, thank you. We'll be in touch, and we appreciate you calling in. What is going on with Neil?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Let's
So,
see.
it's
Maybe we get
probably
ready.
time to get to the rundown.
Yeah, so we'll hang up on Neil here if we can. There it is.
There we go.
Wow, that was
All
so
right.
awesome. Neil, Negative Neil.
That's
a really weird nickname. Yeah,
life coach,
Yeah,
IRS auditor to life coach.
Yeah.
What a transition.
What a journey Neil's had.
It sounds like he's found his purpose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Neil, look, there are a lot of people like Neil that are seeing a lot of misinformation, right? There's a lot of noise, I don't necessarily, what was that? So you caught me right on the video there, scratching my head. It was but look,
scratcher.
There's a lot of noise, and, I don't know if TikTok's the best source for information on real estate and finances, but
It can be a source, but we're gonna have to diversify that a little bit.
Yeah,
it can't be the only source.
Sure, and that's certainly why we've put this podcast together, right? So we can give some good information to people like Neil.
Yeah.
Hopefully get him out there buying a house soon.
Unbelievable.
Wow, that was unbelievable. So, all right, let's get to the rundown. Again, explain what the rundown is.
Yeah,
real quick.
absolutely. So the rundown is a fun kind of hot potato, Dustin goes, I go segment where we'll talk about things in real estate, things Las Vegas, things popular culture, maybe even some sprinkling some sports in there. So let's start the clock. We got condo financing. Ooh, that's a fun one.
Yeah. So, that's a good point, because condo financing is a pain in the ass, by the way. So not as bad as maybe a rehab loan or, even a manufactured property. But, look, there are issues that pop up with financing condos, and it's because of the condo, right? So on Tuesday, I got a contract for a client of mine. He's a veteran, right?
Okay.
The real estate agent, unfortunately, he didn't ask me if the condo was approved. And once we got the contracts, first thing we looked up, and unfortunately, it wasn't approved, right? So we're back to the drawing board. Now, here's the deal with FHA and VA. There's actually websites that you can go on to see if the condos are approved or warrantable, is what they call, right? Unfortunately, with FHA, there's about, 8 condos in all Las Vegas.
Not many out there, yeah.
Right. So they do offer spot condo approvals. That's going to take me way more than 1 minute to explain. So we'll do that for another rundown. Now, for conventional financing, right, there is no website. So here's the rule of thumb.
Okay.
What I ask is that the real estate agent look in the MLS, see if there's been some financing recently, right? If
Good
there
tip.
are, then there's a good shot that we may be okay, right? Because then when we get the contract, we have to order what's called a condo questionnaire from the HOA. We have to pay for that. Takes a little while to come in, and then hopefully it checks all the boxes and we're good to go, right?
Yep.
They're looking for stuff like litigation, making sure the HOA is solvent, and a whole slew of things, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean it's good if there was financing in there, right? Now you can look at non-warrantable condo options, right? But that's when you're looking at higher down payments, higher rates. So, condos can be tricky, but if you're working with the right professionals, we can kind of take the pain out of them. So, all right, what's happening with water, Nick?
Water. Well, we are in a drought. We've been in a drought. They've announced it since 2000. I get this question quite often. I would say probably once a week. Hey, what's going on with the water situation?
It has something to do with real estate, too.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, you have this mass exodus from California, other locations as well, that like, hey, I'm considering moving to Nevada, Las Vegas, especially for the tax play, right? You're going to go to a fixed income. It's a fantastic location to retire. But what's the water situation? So the reality is we are probably the best in the entire world as far as water conservation, and the strides and the efforts that the water district and the NWA have made are off the charts. So I pulled straight from the website. Let's go to the slide. Something I wanted to point out. Lake Mead can hold 9 trillion.
Next slide.
Oh,
Sorry.
next slide.
Yep.
Lake Mead can hold 9 trillion gallons of water. Here's the fun fact. Lake Mead is at historic lows, and water levels are expected to decline even further. If Lake Mead falls below the 895 dead pool, water cannot flow through Hoover Dam to California, Arizona, and Mexico. A lot of people don't understand how much water goes out of Nevada, where the majority of the Colorado River flows in the state of Nevada. So I show that to people and go, look, if I lived in any of these other locations, I would be more concerned than here.
Right.
Something else to point out.
We have a lot of banked water, too.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
Yeah, the water reserve is there for sure. But something interesting, the community used 27 billion gallons less water in 2021 than it did in 2002. Yet the population increased by 750,000 people.
Right. Wow.
So we had almost 1 million people move to Las Vegas, yet we used less water than we did in 2002. So the situation, they're on it. The amount of money that's being poured into this city, I don't have a concern. There is a contingency plan that we will be safe for the next 50 years. So
there you go.
let's move to Wells Fargo. They had some fun news today.
Yeah, you sent me
this
a
week.
text. You go, did you see this? And
Yeah.
I did. And yeah, it's actually not groundbreaking. So here's the deal. Wells Fargo's pulled out of correspondent lending.
Okay.
So what that means is they can actually lend to third-party companies, like maybe Keller Mortgage, right?
Okay.
Where we use their guidelines and warehouse lines, and we fund under the guise of Keller Mortgage, but it's through a Wells Fargo channel, right?
Gotcha.
Not a big surprise because they've been talking about this since last year, right? Even Bank of America did this a decade ago. Chase has recently done it, but look, the mortgage industry has certainly shifted,
Sure.
right? And they want to alleviate some risks, and it's probably a profit thing that they need to figure out. So, besides jumbo with correspondent lending with Wells Fargo, I've never really used them. So no big deal. Look, you can still go into a Wells Fargo and go get a loan if you want to, right?
Okay.
They're not stopping that.
You're going to need longer than 30 days.
Yeah,
take
exactly.
forever.
Fair enough. I didn't bash on you, Wells Fargo.
That
Nick
was me,
did, but
the realtor.
Yes,
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And they were 5 years ago the largest lender in the country. They're still like number 3. Rocket Mortgage is number 1, and I think United Wholesale Mortgage is number 2,
Okay.
which is basically any broker in the country. So, yeah, they haven't got out of lending. They've got out of correspondent lending, but they've also backed down on what they're going to start doing in loan servicing, which was a little bit of a surprise because typically there's some good money in that. So if you do read something about Wells Fargo shutting down lending, read between the lines. It's not the end of the world. We're still going to have home loans next week. I promise you.
More of a headline.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is my wheelhouse. Wild card weekend. All right, let's get to it.
NFL season has wrapped, so I thought it would be fun for us to, discuss a little bit each week what's going down here. So look at our matchups. Let's go upper left. So we got Jags Chargers. Who you got?
Chargers. That's.
You got Chargers for sure? Lawrence?
Not for sure, but yeah.
Okay. I don't know the spreads of any of these games, but I wanted to do our little pick.
2 points.
Okay, so we'll keep track of this. So I'll go with the Jags. I'm going to go the opposite of you. So I get to pick the next game since you picked first. I'm going to go.
Well, you didn't tell me the rules.
Well,
that's my Super Bowl champ.
That's usually how I do it as I stack it to my side. So I'm going to go next game down. I'm going to pick the Bengals. So you're stuck with the Ravens.
Okay, well, that sucks. Well, then I'll go Bills. So even touche.
I guess I should have done.
And actually, I heard that, what's his name? The safety that was
Damar Hamlin.
Yeah, he was actually out of the hospital.
He is. He's back in Buffalo, I believe.
God bless him.
That's awesome. Okay, next we're going to go Bucks
one.
Cowboys. This is kind of a toss-up. I can't go against Tom Brady in a playoff game, so I'm going to have to go with the Bucks.
Okay,
So
I'll take the Cowboys.
Okay.
All right, now this is a tough one. So the Vikings are the favorite, but I think the Giants are going to win. So I'll go with the Giants. That might be my upset of the week.
Wow, we should give you a bonus point if that upsets happen. Next game's Niners Seahawks.
Yes.
So thank you.
An easy one.
Well, you got the Bills, so it worked out just fine. I'll take the Niners, and we'll see how this plays out. They're doing like a weird schedule. Did you see? It's like a Saturday,
there's a
Sunday,
Monday night
Monday
game.
or something. Is that new? I don't remember that
Well,
last
Saturday,
year.
Sunday's always been there. Monday, I don't remember seeing playoff games on a Monday.
They're calling it like a super playoff weekend or something.
Absolutely. So I'm in.
sounds
Yes.
super.
Sounds amazing.
For a Monday night wild card. That should be fun.
Niners, Bengals. That's the Super Bowl. Okay, write that down.
Niners, Bengals.
Yep, that's who I got. All right.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I got Vikings and the Bengals.
Vikings, Bengals. Wow, Vikings.
I do.
There you go.
All right.
All right. What's up?
Awesome. What do we got next? The A's.
Is it the Vegas A's or the Oakland A's?
You know,
right?
have they made a decision? Like, what's going on?
I know. Look, I'm a longtime A's fan since like
I didn't know that.
8, 9 years old. Before cable, there was
Really?
a thing called UHF, another
Okay.
TV signal, and they actually had Oakland A's games.
Interesting.
And Bash Brothers,
Yeah,
Ricky Henderson,
all of it.
love
Dave
that team.
Stewart.
It's been challenging being an A's fan for the last 20 years.
you
right?
guys had Moneyball.
We did, and it's pieced together some pretty competitive teams on a very low payroll. And now they've just went in full tank mode, right? We're like, we are going to suck for the next 3 or 4 years,
On purpose.
compile as many draft picks, high draft picks
Yeah.
as we can, and stock our farm system, kind of like the Houston Astros did.
Yeah.
And then when we get that shiny new stadium, we're going to be ready to compete and kick some ass. But where's that stadium going to be, right? And now, when all this chatter came out, I was pretty 99% sure they were not coming to Vegas. This was
Okay.
just a ploy to get leverage to Oakland. Are you going to lose another team?
Right.
Right. But look, it's still going on. And now there was 2 spots. There was that plot of land where they do the festivals, the rock concerts and stuff over where Wet and Wild used to be.
Oh, yeah.
Now that's out, which is surprising because a billionaire casino owner owns that. So I thought
Okay.
that would have been the one that they would agree on. But now if they do this, it's going to be where the Tropicana is. That
And they're gonna-
Bally's owns.
Yeah. Are they going to tear down Tropicana or it's going to be somewhere
it's
over
going to be
there?
a state-of-the-art baseball arena.
right
Now think
there.
of this, which was crazy. Literally from walking distance, you'll have a state-of-the-art baseball, hockey, and football all on the strip.
Wow.
Like, boom. Could you
Wow.
imagine me telling you that
yeah.
was going to happen 7
That's-
years ago? You would have told me I was cray-cray.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. Cray.
Yeah. So, all right. Buyer's market. What the hell is going on in the buyer's market?
It is, some would say, it has shifted from a seller's market to a buyer's market, and I honestly tend to agree. The reasons why I agree have to do with the amount of concessions a seller is going to have to give a buyer right now to sell in the appropriate amount of time. Now, depending on seller motivation, that will dictate how much in concessions you will receive.
Okay.
But understand, as we talked about the CPI report, and if this continues to drive inflation down, we will see rates come down. Therefore, more buyers will enter, and sellers don't have to give up as many concessions as they're
Right.
doing
Do you
right
have a
now.
slide we need
I
to see?
do, yeah.
Let's
So
see.
Zillow, the big bad Z, I'm not a huge fan of them, but interesting. They predicted, experts say, U.S. housing market conditions to shift in favor of buyers of 2023. So notice we had a slight shift in 2022.
Yeah.
44% shift should happen this year.
There you go.
Take advantage of it. Make sure that if you're a buyer, you go ahead and plan accordingly, because this is probably the best time that you're going to get repairs, concessions, and whatnot.
100%.
Fun slide also from Knock Buyer. If we go to the next slide, please. Look at that.
Boom.
Top markets for buyers and sellers. Well, notice that we're not on the seller side, but look at the buyer side. We sit currently at number 3.
Did you make that yourself?
I
I'm just
did.
kidding.
Yeah, I drew
That
it with
is
a
awesome.
crayon also
Yeah, no,
right before
that's
my
great.
Common Core math. No, so yeah, we were sitting at number 3 for the top markets for buyers and sellers in 2023. And again, it has to do with just the amount of homes that are sitting on the market, not selling, the amount
Right.
that are going to expireds, and making sure that you plan accordingly is what I'm trying to communicate. That I think this is going to be the best year for you to get closing costs covered, full repairs covered. I mean, I just got 5,000 in repairs.
Yeah,
on a
look,
house.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, these opportunities are going to start slowly going away, right?
Yeah.
Like I am closing on a deal tomorrow where the buyer literally got $24,000 in concessions, right?
Really?
Did a 2-1 buy down, all their closing costs
Love
are
it.
paid. I mean, and it was amazing. I told the agent what we needed. There was literally no counters.
Yeah.
Nick, and they even got it 10 grand below list price, right?
Oh, that's amazing.
Now, when buyers start coming back in our market, right? And more investors do.
Yep.
These deals are going to go away, right? And then all you'll have sooner or later are lower rates.
For sure.
Meanwhile, this person that bought,
Right.
we're going to turn around and refinance.
Just refi, and they already
into
got those concessions.
lower rates.
I had one too where I'm on the sales side and we're closing, and what was fun is the appraisal came in higher than the contract price.
Right.
So then we did an addendum to increase the price so that we could give more concessions to the buyer. So the appraisal came in $3K higher.
Yep.
We just did an addendum, changed the price, and then gave the buyer
it's fun.
$3K more. Which is the same net to the seller.
Yep.
So that was a fun way to kind of play with the numbers for that VA buyer.
Yeah, it's amazing seeing all these concessions that we didn't see for years, right? So it's fun figuring out the best way for buyers to use these. So, wow, another unexpected person's here. So we actually have a guest. There he is.
Wow.
Rock star agent Shane Beal from your office, Keller Williams.
We're at the same office.
Yeah, you guys actually, I think you guys went to high school together, right?
We did,
yeah.
What high school did you guys go to again?
Cheyenne.
Cheyenne, right. What gang were you
in the
two
building.
in?
No comment.
No,
Yeah.
we can't represent on
That,
TV.
nose tackle, wide receiver, football? What happened here?
I did not play football. Shane,
No.
did you play football?
I sat the bench in baseball.
Okay.
That's what I did.
You
was
look like a
left bench.
baseball player.
Yeah.
No, you do not. Shane, I would, if I ever said to you you were going to be invited on a podcast to talk about real estate, but you were going to man a puppet, what would you think about that? Was that something that you ever had lined up in your life to man some puppet? Oh, you have no. Are we still playing this?
What puppet?
I have no idea. Actually, that's negative.
Oh,
deals.
you're talking about my life coach.
Yes,
Yeah,
your life coach.
he's turned my life around. Really, really helped me out. I
seems-
just like helping him out whenever I can. And
Yeah, I appreciate you putting him on the show. Yeah, he seems very inspiring. Yeah, he's
Very positive. I mean, just uplifting.
Yes,
Is what came
yeah,
to
it's weird.
mind
yeah,
for
once
me.
you get past that, he's fine.
Yeah, just
Okay.
get past the negative Neil part.
He's
and
like
just
an
call him
M&M. He's
Neil.
like melts into
Yeah.
your mouth.
Yeah,
not
well,
in your
it-
hands. Yeah. Okay.
All right, being serious. What do you think about the market this year? I mean, you hopeful that it's going to be good for buyers?
I mean, I have remotely been tuning in and listening to everything you guys have been saying, and you guys are providing a lot of valuable information. But yeah, I agree with what's going on out there, and I think we're seeing a shift more towards like a buyer market. Technically, it's balanced, but yeah, I mean, the sellers are just giving away the farm to sell a house right now. And if the rates go down, more buyers are going to go in the pool, and we're going to be right back to where we were a year ago.
Yeah, it's certainly now not a want market, right? I want to buy a house or I want to sell my house at top dollar. It's I must do something, right? And there's a lot of life activities that prompt that.
The scenario
right?
selling with the life events is clearly where it makes sense, whether they're downsizing, reloading, adding a family member, someone moving out, those types of things, death, divorce. That's pretty much what you're seeing. And on the buyer side, it's the same.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
If
Kinda
people
that
have a good
one-to-one.
rate, they're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Yeah.
the problem. I mean, I think, I don't know what the exact numbers are, but I would bet to say that probably 60% of the home loans out there have a rate, around 3% or below right now, and that's tough to give up right now. So if you don't necessarily need to sell, why are you going to sell, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good point. I mean, so supply is not going to spike up anytime soon, in my opinion, right? We just need some more buyers, and we'll start to balance out the market and level up and start going up a little bit, right?
Yeah, Shane, where do you see supply going the next 12 months?
Last stats that I've heard on supply is we're still like something like, I want to say 6 years behind as far as on building, 6 to 10 year range, I want to say. But yeah, we're still going to have, there's still a national housing shortage. And now that materials are starting to come down in price, we might see new houses come down slightly, but probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, the bills are definitely slowed down in their permits, So again, supply's not going up anytime soon, in my opinion. We just need rates to come down, get some more buyers in the market. We're back to a normal market, right?
Sure.
God willing, there's no another pandemic or anything like that freaks things out, and it's going to be a great year, man.
For sure.
Shane, Yeah, you had a great life coach, Neil. Give him our best. We can't wait to help him go find a house.
Absolutely.
Will do. I will.
All right,
He's
my
a great
brother.
guy. Just
All
gotta get
right.
to know him.
Thank you, my man, Nick. What a show.
Yeah.
Wow, our first caller, our first guest. Phew, dude, I mean, this we're taking off.
We are. We're
Yeah.
we're going viral, as Neil said.
Yeah, we already got up to 8 people watching now, so that's amazing. That is viral.
That is. That's times 2.
How do they get a hold of you, Nick?
Best way to get a hold of me is call me direct. There's my cell, 702-289-5200, or you can email me, nick@theleymangroup.com. Looking forward to chatting with all of you and connecting.
There you
Dustin,
go.
how about you?
Well, you get a hold of me by my bat phone, which is 460. That's my team line. Look, that's how you get a hold of me, and I am willing and ready to meet with anybody that needs some financing. It's a good
do
time
it.
to get out there and buy. You know, it's going to be more difficult for buyers coming down the stretch here. So great show. Awesome time with Negative Neil and my man Shane. We'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.